Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer and I'm playing Pax Romana. Turn number 9, 100 to 75 BC, and there's only one more turn to go then. And it's getting now closer and closer. The East is still in the lead with 56 points, but the Romans have 47. So that means they are 9 points behind. Now, at the moment the Romans are definitely in the best position. They control the biggest area. Well, actually, they kind of share that with the East. But now that the barbarians are gone here during the last removal phase, they are again 1 point ahead, and it should be fairly easy for them to get new territories. So they might be able to win 3 points per turn due to the GOPs, if they manage to be the first. And when it comes to the Civ points, they are at 27. The East is at 25. So if they manage to keep their advantage there too, they will gain, let me see, 2 more points per turn. So that means they can actually gain 5 points per turn compared to the East player. That means in the end they could win that by 1 point. In addition, they have a chance to fulfill that political goal number, letter N. If they gain Germania or the Chersonese, they could gain 2 additional victory points per territory. So then a victory would be very likely. The East player, well, for them it's hard. They could simply try to get additional GOPs, but the question is from where. They have to be careful because there is a big army sitting here at Cyzicus, threatening Asia Minor. So they cannot move their soldiers too far away. Maybe they can try and attack against that army, but that's definitely going to be hard. But so what can they do? Hard to tell. They want to build 2 cities here. That's why they hired their infantry here, the heavy infantry at Crete. Apart from that, they're not in the best position anymore. No doubt. Rome has now the initiative and the chance to win that. Apart from that, the East doesn't have enough income anymore. Oh, well, they still do have a bit, but they have 34. The Romans have exactly 10 more, 44. What about Carthage? Well, they're not that bad. They hired quite an army here, willing to push into Spain again. Maybe they can somehow make it. And the Greeks, they're trying to regain some of the Danube here. They also have a little army now. They have quite a bit of income compared to a few rounds before. This permanent or continuous building of cities and slowly coming back into the game, now it paid off. They have an income now of 21, which is not so bad. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting turn, I'm pretty sure about that. So we did the first two activation markers. First it were the Greeks. They used their army to get rid of the Romans here at Lissa. They actually flew here to Virunum. Now that city is kind of safe. And then they moved further and destroyed a Roman legion here in Dacia, which also moved away to Germany, but then they were pursued and destroyed by the Greeks. So that brought also the Roman stability level a little further down. Then Carthage activated and played a stability check on the Romans, which actually reduced the Roman stability level even more. So they're now just at stable. And then the Carthaginian player kind of organized its forces, and they are sitting now here at Tingi, ready to enter European land and then try to recapture Spain. And now it's the Roman player, and we see a barbarian invasion here. So let's see where that happens. It could be again the German tribes, and that would definitely be probably not that great for the Roman player. But let's see. Now this is 8. That's also bad. These are the Western goals. Okay, let's see. Okay, I have a pretty big army here. 8 units. Well, it's not that big, but... And I placed them at Belgica. And luckily, the Roman player can decide where to place them, when to move, and he doesn't move them at all, and they will not be moved any further. So this is different to the German invasion, which could be moved again and again during each activation phase. These guys are moved only once and then they remain there. So therefore, that doesn't affect the game a lot. And then the Romans can start an attack, and they want to take Germania. So they needed that leader here to move up there first, and then let's see how far they can get. That's bad. That's only 7. Let's hope this is enough to get even up there. One. Oh man, this is pretty far away actually. Well, if I move the leader on its own, I can move 14 spaces, so then it should be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I can bring him up here in a single move. But that's actually it for that turn. I got some minor moves, I think. And by the way, one thing is important. Now this special rule, we have now the year 100, and there was some military reforms going on there. So at that point, this special rule with the cavalry superiority and the legion cavalry, that doesn't apply anymore. Instead, what happens now is all the legions are worth 5 battle points. That's pretty strong. So I'm considering, I'm not even sure if I want to build another city here. Hard to tell. Do I want to make that a city or not? Yeah, I think I will. So I'm gonna sell that guy for $3. And I'm gonna build a city here. And I'm gonna do the same here. $3. Well, wait a second. Actually, I'm considering to rebuild that city instead. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do first. So this guy goes back in here for now. And instead... Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I think we should have $5 left now. And instead, I'm gonna rebuild that city here. Okay. So the Eastern player also didn't do too much. They built 2 cities here in Crete, and then they moved the army from Myra to Pergamon, where there are mountains, which gives them a defensive bonus. And yeah, apart from that, there's not a lot they can do at the moment. Attacking the Romans in here doesn't make a lot of sense. They have a better leader, they have a bigger force, so that is probably a waste. But maybe this is not... Maybe I should actually move here. Yeah, I think I will move there, because that will then at least block the way through the mountains here to my homeland. And yeah, I think that makes actually more sense. I'm gonna move here instead of here. Okay. So let's see who's next. It's Rome. So they pay $1, draw a card. Soldier of Fortune. Place a Soldier of Fortune army as per 12.4, unless you are the Roman player, in which case see 12.4.7 for details. Well, let's see what it is. Okay, so for the Roman player, this card allows him to bring a dictator into play. But only if there is an enemy army in its home territory. Then he can play that card, remove one of his leaders, draw 3 leaders randomly from the leader pool, and then pick one of them. So he has a good chance then to get a really good leader. But that is not possible at the moment, because there is no enemy army in Italy. Instead, we're going to now start to take Germania, at least try to do so. Okay, that is then 9. So let's see. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave one guy behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that brings us down to 4. Now these guys have 5 strength points. We have 2 cavalry, which gives us cavalry supremacy. In addition, we have here 6 legions. Now it's important that each legion has from now on 5 points in combat, so that means these have now 30 points instead of 19. And that should not be a heavy infantry, but a legion, actually. Okay. So, that means we have, I don't know, a modifier of 9 plus the leader. So we have a modifier of 10. It should be easy to win. Yeah, okay, we can reduce this to 0, do 100%. So that means these guys are destroyed. And we got to do a leader loss roll. And we're fine. Okay, then we're gonna leave one legion behind. Continue our movement. 1, 2, 3, and attack that tribe. The Marcomanni. They have only 4, so it's pretty much the same, I guess. Okay, this time they are doing better. Now let's see, we have 5 legions. That means we got damn, 5 times 5, 25. Makes it 27 versus 4. So that means we have probably 7 shifts, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay, plus 3. Okay, forget it. It's no big deal here. We win that easily. And do we? 7 shifts. Let me see. We got 7 shifts, plus 3 is 10, plus 1 for the leader, so we got 11 shifts. If we reduce their 3, we could do 80% damage, I think. Or maybe even 90. Actually, I can kill them without any losses. And that gives me 2 additional provinces. And now I control Germania, which gives me 2 additional victory points at the end of the turn. And I got... yeah, okay, I'm going to remain here for now with these guys, and I got to do a leader loss check. And I'm fine. Okay. Carthage. Well, they're going to cross the strait, and then I guess they're trying to attack one of these 2 cities here. So Carthage has drawn this change in political scene card, and that forces them to return all the opportunity markers back to the pool, so they don't get now additional points for controlling Spain. Still, I think this is the obvious target, so they're gonna try to march in there, and we gotta shuffle the deck. So let's see, they're gonna activate, got a 2, so these are 8 movement points. I think crossing a strait is probably 2 points. Yeah, 2 points. So yeah, they're gonna move in here, and then, well, they simply attack one of these cities. So they have 21, 22 against 7. So that's 3 shifts plus 1 for the leader, 4 shifts. Okay, let's see. That's okay. It's actually pretty good. That means they can reduce these 3 to 0 and get 2. So that will reduce 1. So that will reduce this by 50%. 7. So that means we have to remove 4, I guess. Yep, that is correct. So the walls are down. We got to try another attack then. Wait a minute, we had, I think, 10 at the beginning. Crossed the strait, did an attack. I think I'm at 4 now with the second attack. And now there are only 5 left. So that means I got 22 versus 5. I guess I got 4 shifts. Yep. 4 shifts plus 1, so 5 shifts now. Okay, and again I can reduce that to 0. Do 40% damage. 40% of 5 should be enough to kill the light infantry there. Yep, exactly. So the city is mine. Which is cool. Okay, we can now continue moving down here and then doing another attack against that second city here. And same thing, we have first 4 shifts. And that is very good. So we can reduce that again to 0, do 70% damage. That means city is at 7. They will lose 5. So that means we can reduce that to 1, and the city is down to -2. And then we have to move back because we only have 1 movement point left, and I think we have to go back to the next space. We cannot remain here in the transit point. Okay. So yeah, the Romans definitely are losing some ground here. Apart from that, I want to rebuild the city that I just conquered. This one here. And yeah, maybe I can consolidate my situation here a little bit by capturing the cities and towns of the Romans. Okay, it's the Romans a third time. Now, that might be a disadvantage for them if, for example, the East or also Carthage have, I don't know, maybe only had 1 or 2 turns when they had already all their turns. So they're not happy about the fact that they have to go again now. But anyway, they're going to activate this leader here. So let's see what we get. That's a 6, very good. So that means we got 11 movement points. So let me see, yeah, I guess we got to take C movement here. So, we got to be a little lucky here, actually. Okay, I want to at least move until Tyras at C, and then I can continue moving here. My goal is to move to Phanagoria, take that out, take the town from the east, and also gain 2 additional victory points because of my political goal. So yeah, I think I want to try that. I'm going to embark for 1 movement point, start another movement point for sailing, and now I have to be successful with my continuation rolls. So let's hope for the best here. We're fine here. So we continue to Apollonia. We're fine. Tomi. Also good. And then finally we move to Tyras, and then we want to stop because I don't want to risk to be stopped by a not successful roll. So we gotta pay another one for debarking now. Yeah. And then we can continue moving 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, which brings us here. And then we can do an attack against that town for 2 more. That should be no problem. We have here 5 legions. That means we got 25. So that's about 10 shifts or something. Plus 1 for the leader. That's 11 shifts. Yeah, okay. That is no problem. We don't take any losses. We have to roll for the leader loss. Okay, we're fine. So that city is reduced to 1. It's now a Roman town. And what's even better, the Romans now gain that province, and the East loses a province. Very good. So they got 2 movement points left. I think I won't do anything with these. I might take naval shipment and come back, maybe destroy this here. I'm not sure yet, but with 2 points, it's unlikely I can do a lot here. So it's now the East player, and he might try now an attack against Cyzicus. Yeah, there's not so that much they can do otherwise. So they also decided to honor the alliance with the Greeks, so they will not attempt to grab Thrace. It's a very loyal guy, so they were friends all through the game. So that's why they decided not to take Thrace, even though that might help them to win. But, you know, some players play like that. They are very strong with their principles, and even if they could win, they wouldn't do that. So I'm going to try to attack the city there. We have 7 movement points, and we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's do this. So that brings us down to 2. And now we'll see what happens here. Well, these guys have 5 legions, 6, 7, 8, 9 legions. Pfft. Oh man. That means the 9 legions gives them 45, that's 50 points. Holy shit. The attacker only has 15, 21, 30, 34. Okay. We can bid for a shift. Now that's a tough choice. Let's see, the Romans might build, let's say, nothing 1 or 2. Okay, they built 2. And the other guys might bid 0 or 1, I would say. Okay, they built nothing, so that means the Romans get a shift for their siege expertise. And then, let's see, we got 50 versus 30 something. I guess that's probably no shift. So I guess 50 versus 34 could be a shift. Let's see what about 5 versus 3. That would be a shift. So I'm going to give it a shift. And in addition, they get another shift for the siege expertise. So they end up with 2 shifts in favor of the Romans. Oops, that sucks completely. So that means yeah, they might actually do 80% damage to the attacker. I'm not sure. Or 30%. Hard to tell. I guess they're going to do 80% to the attacker, which is obviously horrible. Well, actually, I forgot. They only have 1 shift because I have a leader. So they can do 70%. I go back, lose 1, and I got only 1 point left. So I guess I move up here then. So the East lost more than 20 points. The Romans lost, I think, 11. So basically they lost 2 legions and had to reduce another one. The East lost, I don't know, about 5 heavy infantry or something like that. It was really painful, for more than that, I guess. It was very painful for them. So then they decided to build another town here at Tarsus. And apart from that, there's not a lot they can actually do. So right now, I think we simply continue picking the next one. And it is the East now, again. I don't know. I really don't know what to do. I might consider bringing this guy in here and then building maybe a city there. Yeah, I think that's what I want to try to do. So, yeah, that's enough to move in there. Then as a minor move, I pay $3. Build a city. Got a few more civilization points that way. But from a military point of view, I really don't see a lot of options left here. I could activate this guy and maybe move into that city in case the Romans come that way. Maybe this is the best. That could be an option. So yeah, I can do that. So I'm gonna move with my army. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, no problem. I'm gonna move here to Sinope, and I guess I can protect that city from the Roman army over there. Actually, I didn't draw a card, I think. A local insurrection. Drawing player removes one garrison on the map belonging to any player. Okay. That could be valuable. Yeah, I think I'm going to remove these guys here at Duruvernum. So the Romans lose another one in that way. There we go. And now, Greeks. Tribal resurgence. Draw randomly and blindly 2 tribal counters. Okay, so where to place these guys? I'm not sure actually. Okay, so the Greeks, I think they're going to place one here at Tolosa. Oops, that's an objective marker. Okay, so that means the Romans lose another province. And another one is placed maybe here in Bisontio. And another province goes away from the Romans. Now the Greeks can they can actually try to maybe capture even these areas. Or they want to play safe, go for these areas, and then place, maybe that makes more sense. On the other hand, here we could gain a city. That is definitely tempting, but it's hard to take that city out. But we still have a lot of activations left, so I might try that. That's only a 2. So we have 8 movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see how much we have here. That's 3, 9, 11. That's not bad. These are 17 versus 9. That's 1 shift plus 1 for the leader. It's only 2 shifts. Still, it's just too tempting. I'm gonna try that. Seems like the Romans are busy with other things to do. So yeah, I'm gonna move in there. So I was there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brings me to 8. And yeah, as I said, 2 shifts for me. We could pay for or bid for siege expertise. I have a bit of money left, so I might actually throw a buck in. What about the Romans? Hard to tell. Let's say on a 1 to 3 they also pay a buck, otherwise they don't pay anything. So yeah, they both pay a buck. That means the money is simply lost. Nobody gets the expertise here, and that means that it's 2 shifts for the Greeks. Oh boy. Well, they can reduce that, so it's a 20% damage against the Romans. So they got 9, 20% is 2. Well, so they will simply lose 1 space here or 1 wall. So we got to try it again, pay 2 more. So it's again 2 shifts. This time it's definitely better. We can reduce that to 1. And we can do 50% damage. So 50% of, well, they would lose 4 then, which is still not enough to capture the city. So I might reduce that only to 20% and do 60% damage, and that then should be enough to take the city. They are at 8. Yeah, 60% would be 5. That would be enough to take the city. But I would also take 20% damage then. 1, 2, that's 9, 12, 15, 17. 20%, that would be 3. Yeah, I think I can do that. That's okay. I'm gonna lose 1, but I can take the city. So it's a nice Greek city now. The walls are damaged, but I can pay 2 bucks to rebuild them right away. Yep, so that's pretty cool. And Virunum is now Greek, and that gives the Greeks 1 stability, and the Romans lose another 1, and they are now in unrest. The Greeks again. And it's a rebellion. So let's roll 2 dice and see where it happens. That is a 5. And that is Africa. Let's see. I think that has no effect, but I'm not absolutely sure. I think only if mercenaries are in play, that will actually take effect. Oops. Nah. Yeah, exactly. No event. Okay. So Now the Greek player could continue. They could try to take that city, and actually it is unprotected. He can simply move in. So that's definitely tempting. Huh. Yeah, I think I want to do it. I mean, of course, we have up here the Romans with a ton of units. Still, I might actually do it. So the idea is to move actually 2 guys. I don't know. No, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Damn it, I don't know. Yeah, I think I want to do it. I want to take 2 guys, move in there, and yeah, I'm going to take the leader with me so I don't have to roll. I'm going to move in there, take the city or the town, and pay a buck. To repair it. So I'm sitting now here, and then I can send a light infantry. And by the way, this becomes now Greece, and we can send a light infantry with a minor move to Dalmatia. Yep, I end up here, and that gives me then that province. So that was a pretty good turn for the Greeks until now. So the East has an activation, and they basically did nothing. They tried to bring a fleet from here, Tarsus, to Trapezus, to prevent the Roman army to do a naval transport here. But that was not successful. The fleet ended up here, and then they moved a garrison there and to not to lose the fleet in an uncontrolled point at the end of the turn. But we had also an activation of Carthage, and they were very successful. The Carthaginians captured Malacca from the Romans. They also captured Lusitania, and well, it's interesting because we're seeing really the Roman Empire falling apart at that point. You know, the Romans did control Gaul, they did control Spain, they controlled nearly all the Danube except for Moesia Inferior. And now this is, you know, most of it is actually gone. We have also a rebellion in Britannia, so this is gone. There are pirates now sitting here. So only a small part of Gaul, actually only Aquitania, is left under the control of the Romans. In Spain, we also only have 2 provinces left, but Carthage will have 1 more go, so they might actually capture all Spain if they're lucky. Although it's not going to be easy, but there is a chance. They have a very good leader, a very fast leader here. And the Danube is also gone to the Greeks again. So maybe if the Romans are extremely lucky, I have not counted their points. It might be still enough to be first when it comes to GOPs, and then we have these extra victory points. But it might also be maybe you know, maybe they went a little bit too far. Maybe they should have focused in preserving their empire and just not pushing too hard here. But that's hard to tell. I mean, it was definitely a successful action to destroy some of the cities here of the east. That allowed them to catch up in civilization points. And during the last turn, it looked really, really well for them. But this turn was definitely not good for the Romans. Especially because now the other factions come back into the game. Carthage and Greek. They do a lot of damage in the Roman Empire. It's again Carthage. So they pay a buck. Change in foreign policy. Use this against yourself or any other one player. The affected player randomly selects one opportunity objective to return after blindly selecting a new one. Well, I think I'm gonna play that against myself, because that would allow me simply to select one, and I don't have any right now. And remember, it says also that he may not return the one he just selected. So I guess we can simply take one. That is number E. Let's see what that is. Control goal. Wow. Well, that is not completely impossible. Although there is a lot going on here, it's not going to be easy. We still have one more turn though, so maybe at least for the last turn we can do that. But, well, it's an attempt. I mean, we might try it. But for now, I'm still going for Spain, especially here. Bergidum with the gold mines. Let's see what we roll here. That's a 6. Now that is a real chance. We got 12 points here. So if we can take that out, then continue our move to here, we should be able to grab Spain. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now let's see. We have overall 21, 22 versus 6. That gives me 4 shifts plus 1 for the leader. The Romans might beard. Yeah, on a 1 to 3 they throw a buck in. So yeah, they do that. Okay, I'm not going to bid anything. That means they get an additional shift, so it would be, so it's only 5 shifts. Okay, I think it's pretty much wasted. I think I have then 4 shifts. Okay, so yeah, I can reduce that to 0 if I want to, and I can bring this up to 60%. Now let's see. No, that's not true. 50%. Is that enough? Probably not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I can definitely do at least one more attack. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So I guess I'm going to reduce that to 0, bring that up to 50%. So they lose 3 battle points. That means they're going to remove, well, basically one of the wall points and their light infantry. So we got to roll for leader loss. We're fine. We're going to do a second attack. And now it should be no problem. Let's see. Yeah, that's definitely enough to take the city. So we're going to roll again for leader loss. We're fine. So we got another Carthaginian city here. This is getting really impressive. Now Carthage gains a lot by capturing all the cities that the Romans actually built. The Carthaginians never really managed to improve their civilization in Spain or in general. They were pretty bad with their cities. But now they can simply take all the cities from the Romans, and that will give them a big push when it comes to civilization points and also income. Sadly, they cannot repair that city. That's kind of a shame, but they only have one buck left. So, and then they will continue moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the others, the garrison, I'm not even sure if they can withdraw. I gotta check that. Yeah, actually, garrisons are not allowed to withdraw. So this sucker will simply die. And well, let's see. I started here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Yeah, I definitely won't have enough to do another attack here. But still, that was pretty awesome, and that means I control now whole Spain. Brings also up my stability. The Roman stability got down. Impressive. There is no other word for that. At the moment, it actually seems like the Carthaginians might be even, I don't know, they might be the most powerful force here. They control the Sicilies, Carthage, and Spain. Well, that's interesting. So it's Rome again now, and this is their... Well, these counters are not in the best shape anymore. Now that is their final move in this turn. And if they want to get their extra victory points for the Chersonese and Germania, they have to take out that tribe. So they're going to activate now these guys here and move down the army there. But first they got to pay, of course, and we'll see what they get. Well, that is an alliance. Unlikely they're going to need that card at the moment. Okay, that's a 5. So, okay, that tribe only had a strength of 3, and here in Bisontio, these poor guys were slaughtered by the Romans, which had, I think, 11 shifts or something like that. So that gives Rome now back 1 stability, because they now control this region again, but they only have 2 more movement points left. That's definitely not enough to take out or to attack here. So, yeah, I think there's nothing they will do with that. They might simply stay here and... yeah, I don't know. It's a... well, maybe they should move back and try to improve this a little bit, so they can kind of split the forces before the Greeks get the idea to attack one of these guys. Maybe that's not a bad idea. Yeah. Okay, now we have, I think, 3 legions in here, and also three legions there, I guess, plus 2 cavalry. That should be enough to prevent the Greeks from attacking me there. Now I got 2 minor moves. Is there anything useful I can do with these? I don't think so, actually. I mean, if the Greeks were really dicky, they could send in a unit in there, single one, just to prevent me for controlling that one. They could send in a unit here, maybe even attack up there. These are all options, but it also doesn't help them very much. So I think that might not happen here. And we have one last marker in there. And these are the Greeks now. So that's a slave revolt, which is not good. But they're kind of lucky that it happens at the last activation, because in that way the slaves get not moved around in the home territory. Okay, we have a slave revolt here in Megara. Now that is not cool at all. The city is not converted into an independent city, but it doesn't give them income, it doesn't give him points. So, yeah, but right now the army is far away. There is no way to get rid of that revolt. They only have 2 points, but they are sitting in that city and they're going to use that city for defense. So, yeah, that was a pretty bad card for the Greeks now. Now what do they want to do? Well, their idea might be to move a unit here to Dacia to capture that province, maybe from here. So, yeah, that's definitely an option. They're going to activate these guys. Okay, that's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They could easily move here. Is there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? That's the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to grab one of these guys here. So one remains here. The other guy moves then with the leader here to Apulum, which gives us then another stability marker. Sadly, we also cannot take Mysia Inferior, but still we control big parts of the Danube now. We improved a lot in the last turn. It's a shame that we lost that city here due to the slave revolt. Still a good turn for the Greeks. And yeah, I think, yeah, we're done with this turn. Let's go to the victory point phase. It's going to be interesting how much the Romans can make, and maybe the game might be over now. Basically, I'm gonna play the last turn, that's for sure. But if the Romans don't make enough victory points now, it's possible that they cannot make enough victory points in the last turn then to beat the East. I'm pretty sure that the East is still doing fine, although they lost Ionia and that here. But I think they were not that badly hurt as the Romans were during this turn. The only interesting question is, has Carthage maybe a chance? But because they have no political goals accomplished, I don't think so. We'll see that. So that was kind of a close turn now. The East did the best. They made 9 turns. Then it was Carthage which They made 8 points, 9 points for the East, Carthage with 8, and the Romans with 7 points. Greece only did 1 point or so. But it is pretty clear that the East has won the game at that point. The East is 11 points ahead of the Romans. The Romans will only have one more turn to catch up. That's not going to happen. They are about 20 points, not quite, 15 points ahead of Carthage. Also, the East is at this point the winner. Not sure if for the long term, but at that point they are. As I said, I want to play the last turn. There is no doubt it's an interesting game at the moment. Interesting was that the Romans actually only have 9 GOPs left. They have now even less GOPs than the Greeks with 11. The Romans only control Aquitania here, they control Germania, Italy, and the Chersonese. This is just so poor. Of course, they have a big military force. They might be able to regain the Danube in the next turn, which is one of their political goals. But that was really a bad hit for them. In civ points, they are still doing well. They have 19 civ points. They lost a bit, but they're still not in a very bad shape. They're still second when it comes to civ points. They control 6 cities. The East, on the other hand, and that is really impressive, controls 10 cities and a town. That is where the East really shines. 2 cities on Crete, Rhodes, Sinope up here, that one, these 2, and then here. This is just, this is so strong, and by the way, that one is now isolated. That won't give any additional income. But anyway, this is so impressive, and that gives them, I think they actually have now more civ points than they had at the beginning of the turn. So they managed their crisis very well. And when it comes to the GOPs, they're not doing that bad because they fulfill their political goal. And, well, I mean, it's okay. They're not in a fantastic shape, but they're okay. The Romans managed to make a few victory points because of their political goal. That gave them 4 victory points, the control of Germania and the Chersonese. That is why they actually did quite well during the turn. They were still third or so. Otherwise, they would have been probably last. So, therefore, that was their luck. Okay, anyway, I think it was impressive to see how Rome fell apart in this turn. And I hope to see you then in the last turn. Yeah, until then, bye.